it out. We just got to hit a couple more buttons and then we're good to go. A couple more buttons and we're good to go. I hope everybody can hear me. There we go. And we're going to go live and we should be good to go. All right. All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Motivation on Demand. My name is John Guyton, and normally we do it at the studio, but I'm traveling, so today we're doing it at Oceanside, literally in the breakfast area. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. So this is what it is. This is how it's going to work. And I don't know why. Now I see what's going on Instagram. I don't know why that's happening. The video is changing back and forth on Instagram, and I'm not sure why that's happening. So my bad, Instagram. I don't know what to do about that at the moment, but I'm going to work on it, or at least inquire about why in the world that's happening, and then go from there. But for now, sorry. LinkedIn, it doesn't seem like it's happening. YouTube, it doesn't seem like it's happening, and Facebook, it doesn't seem like it's happening. So, for you Instagram folks, you're just gonna have to deal with the kind of a weird thing that I'm seeing that's going on. Anyway, this is how it works. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This is Motivation on Demand. The way it works is you literally comment anything you want, a word, a phrase, something you're challenged with, something you're thinking about, and I will turn it into a motivational talk on the spot. No preparation, no anything. I'll just put the words together and we'll just get it rolling just like that. This will be a little bit different. Usually I got a whole setup. I got my audio things going. I can put some music in and this and that. But this time it's going to be a little different because I'm here at a hotel. So, you know what I was going to try out too? There's this feature in Restream. Okay. Okay, we got some all right, tell me if you guys can hear this music. I'm going to play it just random. It's like something in Restream. And if you can hear the music, question is, do you want me to keep it on or you want me to kill it for this one? I'm going to let you guys decide and let me know. Okay, so we got two words already. Riz, okay, something that youngsters use, and no cap. Okay, all right, that's cool. Fine, we can work it out. And I see you clear. I don't know if that was, oh, that's just a comment right there. Good, I'm glad you can see me clear. So, uh, all right, so the first comment on the music, I'll take, and the rest, we're just gonna rock and roll. So, in about a few seconds, I'm just gonna get started and do my thing. We're gonna use Riz and No Cap. Riz and No Cap. Okay, perfect. This is good. This is good. I think I'm gonna make an executive decision on this music and just kill it because it's can't control it and whatnot, and we don't need it. Let's do it. All right. Motivation on demand. Here we go. Again, we've got. If you're just joining, welcome. Right now, we've got Riz and No Cap. You can add to that. If I see it in the chat, I will say it. All right. I'm gonna take those words and put something together. Here we go. All right. I want to talk to you about a principle. It's a lever of influence, and there are six levers of influence, or and some people say weapons of influence. This is in life. You're working on, whether it's in business, entrepreneurship, relationships, you're always transacting, which means you're always having to communicate and understand people and the so on and so forth. There is a law, a lever called the lever of reciprocity, and it works without you thinking about it. It's just one of those things that happen. An example is they did a study years ago where it was a bunch of people waiting for something to go down, right? It was some sort of event and they were waiting there, and one person, it was a social experiment that they did, and what they did was the they took the individual that were waiting there, and one of them went to go get some ice cold Coca-Cola, and it was a hot day, and he walked up to random strangers and he said, hey, they let me go to the machine and go get some Coke. I brought a couple of extras here, and gave them one. They didn't ask for it. They didn't even offer. They just said, here you go. They said, oh, thanks. And they did that to a few people. Now, after that, what they did was this is all part of the social experiment. They came back to a group of people. Some people were people that he gave the Coke to, and some people were the people that he didn't give the Coke to. And he come up to him and he said the same thing. He says, "Hey, my kid is doing a raffle, and if you buy a raffle ticket, and if they get to a certain level, then they get a prize, they get a pizza party or something like that. Do you think you could buy some raffle tickets?" And that was his pitch. And here's the interesting data: of the people that he gave the Coca-Cola to earlier in the day, they gave double, right? They bought double the amount of raffle tickets than the people who he didn't give the Coca-Cola to. But here's what's more interesting than that: when they dove deeper into when they dove deeper into this, they polled the people and they said, even some people said, "Do you like this guy? Like, did you like this guy?" And half the people did not, and half the people did. But the numbers didn't change. So it didn't matter if they actually liked the individual or not. That wasn't the factor. The factor was whether they gave to them first. And you'll see this in play a lot of different things. This morning, I'm here in Oceanside, and this morning I went to a business networking group, and I was there as a guest. And I show up, and everybody's super nice, and it was a great event. And a lot of people will think that when you go to these networking events, obviously you're there to get more business, right? You're there to improve what you're doing and get more business. And you'd think that the number one thing you need to do is have, what do the kids say today? Riz, right? You got to come in there, you got to have Riz, and you got to do all this stuff. But somebody said something that was really interesting. They said, give to get. That happened today. They said, give to get. And then another gentleman stood up and he said, I have embraced give to get, and 38% of my business came from this networking group. Not because I asked for the business, not because I did a bunch of special things. It's because I just had a thought to give. I want to give. And so the challenge for you is to think about what you can give as opposed to what you can get. I think Zig Ziglar said something to the effect of, if you want to get everything in life you want, help as many people get what they want. This is the law of reciprocity in practice. Give to get. I'm also part of an entrepreneur program, an accelerator program, the number one accelerator program in the world, Techstars. And the motto is give first. So you see these principles all over, right? You see these principles all over. And the reality is, how can you apply this into your regular life? How can you apply this into the workplace? How can you apply this into relationships? How can you apply this into any other interactions that you have as you're going about your day, as you're going about, and especially tied to the goals that you have for this year? So if you've got these goals, you've probably said, all right, this is what I want to do this year. Maybe it's an income goal, maybe it's a nutrition goal, or I want to lose this weight, or I want to get stronger, or I want to do a half Ironman, or whatever it is. Or it's a business. I want to start a business, or I want to grow a business, or I want to get to a certain milestone, or it's a job. Hey, I want to get this promotion or get a new job. How do you apply the lever of reciprocity into that? Well, it's actually kind of simple. Find out what people in your network need and give it to them. Make promises and keep them. Ask yourself, how can I help? How can I help? Right? No cap. This is very, very powerful. A lot of people think that the number one skill in these business things is quote unquote working the room. Well, what does it mean to work the room? Working the room. Well, the easiest thing, and I've been to events where there's hundreds of entrepreneurs and hundreds of people, and they're all talking and this and that. But you see time and time again, the number one people when they're talking about working the room is give. If you go to somebody and you ask, hey, what do you do? What do what's going on? And then you with genuine interest, you say, how can I help? Or what do you need? A lot of times you'll throw them off. They'll look at you and say, what do you mean, what do I need? And they haven't been asked that. But if you just sit down and say, hey, how can I help? What do you need? And then you find out what they need. And then as you go somewhere else in that area, right, you're working the room, you're doing your thing, you find out, oh, you know what? I just met Olga, he's got this, or I just met Sam, he's got this, or hey, Bryce actually is working on this. Let me connect you guys. Or, I've got a business and all of a sudden they look at you and they say, this is this is pretty interesting. I met this person. They didn't even get their hand, they didn't even put their hand out and say, hey, what do you want? Right? It's like, it's all this, gimme, gimme, gimme kind of culture. Flip it on them. Just give. Just give. Right? I mean, especially in a world of changing culture. You got things happening all over. People are concerned about certain things and different things. But the one thing that you can always count on is everybody needs something. Everybody's working on or dealing with something. And if you can find a way to help them with that, they're gonna think about you and view you in a much different way. And you can think about it as either selfless or even self-serving if you really break it down. If we're going to be honest today and break it down, it's if I help you, right? If I help you do something, if I help you figure something out, if I help you work through something, if I help you think through something, if I help you in a meaningful way, you're going to look at me in a different light. And when there's an opportunity for you to help me, you'll be much more inclined, much more enthusiastic in doing that. And a lot of times I don't even have to ask. And you want that type of scenario. You want to be able to do that. And if you're just joining, comment a word or phrase, I'll throw it into a talk, doing it live on the spot. So games to be talking about changing culture. Look, there's a lot of things changing right now. Some people are excited about what's happening right now with the economy, believe it or not. Some people are terrified. There are people that are starting new businesses and are wondering if they made a good choice. There are some people that have businesses and wondering if their business is going to survive. So there are tons of folks, and then also there are tens of thousands, probably millions, but at least in the conversation we were having here locally, tens of thousands of folks that are nearing retirement age but don't have a retirement plan. They have these small businesses and they're wondering what in the heck they're going to do about it. There's so much opportunity out there. There's so many different things that you can do if you're thinking about how to step things up in 2024. But don't forget the one thing that you should be always thinking about is think about the other person. What might they want? What might they be thinking about? Today in this networking group, I put it to practice. There's typically with these groups, they want one person per industry. And everybody was doing introductions, and I was last to do the introduction because I was a guest, and so they want you to kind of see how everybody else does it. 60 seconds, say whatever you're going to say. Well, and shout out to Harry from Down Under. I think if you are doing that, it's probably tomorrow. It's probably Thursday, man. So what's up with you? Uh, so they're going around the room and everybody's introducing themselves and somebody stands up and if you don't know, I have a studio, John Guyton Studios, and we do video production work for our clients. And he stands up and he basically says, "Hey, my name's Casey and I do video production. I do video production work. I make videos for my clients and all this." Well, I stood up and I said, "Look, I'd love to figure out how I can help you." I looked him dead in his eye and said, "I can figure out how I can help you. We've got a lot of clients from out of the state, and we're always looking for friends to collaborate with." It changed the mood of the whole entire room because now he wasn't looking at me like an adversary. He's looking at me like a mentor. He's looking at me like a peer. He's looking at me like somebody who's going to help. And I did. I already made an introduction to him, and I gave him some connections that he didn't have before. I also gave advice on his process. It turned into something totally different. And what did I leave the room with? I had two. Okay, so here's what. Okay, let me give you a little bit more context. Everybody there had been together for months, and in some cases, a couple of years. These people know each other, and I'm the guest coming in new. Well, they were a little hesitant to make introductions for me because they didn't want to not be loyal to their original folks, right? And so I made it my mission to help the original video production guy. They saw us talking, so when we reconnected, I let the group know, "Hey, we talked, and here are the ways that I'm going to help him." And we actually realized that we do things a little bit differently. And so my clients are this, this, and this. As soon as I did that, as soon as I did that, boom, folks started coming up to me saying, "Hey, I've got an introduction for you. I've got somebody for you to meet. I've got somebody in your local area I'd like for you to connect with." Would have never happened if I didn't have a give to get mentality, if I didn't have a give first mentality. Think about what you can do for them. Think about how you can be helpful to someone else. It is so clear and it is so obvious when you're in a business arrangement or you're in a business event or you're at a retreat or something or you're at a networking event and you can tell the individual that is just out there to get whatever it is that they want to get. They have zero interest in connecting with you, zero interest in building a business relationship with you, zero interest in understanding what you do. It's almost like they ask the question just because it's a check in the box. Like, hey, how's it going? So tell me what you do. And they're just waiting for you to stop talking so that they can jump in and tell you what's going on with them. You've probably always seen folks like that. And hey, guys, for the ones that just joining, hey, throw a word in. If I see it, I'll say it. But it's a lot of times you've got people like that. And what do you do with folks like that? Are you open and wanting to give and wanting to, or are you guarded and holding back and just kind of distrusting in that scenario? I think the latter. At least I am. So I will definitely encourage you to be thinking of a give first mentality, thinking of a give to get mentality. What can you do to better someone else's situation, and in turn, your situation will be improved. And I know it's tough. I know that when you're thinking about your own business, you're thinking about your own situation, and you might be a little worried, might be a little anxious, right? Because you're trying to get your stuff together, right? You're trying to get your clients for your business, and you're looking at the bills, and you're saying, hey, I got to increase revenue, or I got to double sales, or whatever the case may be, or I have to figure this out. I know it's tough to when you're stressed about your own situation and you're worried about your own situation, think about someone else. But when you do, and you come to an event with a winning mindset and you come to an event with high energy, when you do those things, right, the minute that happens, and you're genuinely enthusiastic about helping that person, they see something in you. And when they see that, they feel that, they all of a sudden, you don't have to ask to be helped. They're wondering, what can I do to help you? I do it all the time, and the reason it works is because I mean it. I'm having a conversation with somebody, and I'm asking about them, and I'm genuinely interested. And then after the conversation, I say, "What do you need?" I might say, "What do you need?" I might say, "What do you want?" I might say, "Hey, what's not going awesome? What can I help you with?" And a combination of those questions gets them to understand that I actually am genuinely interested in the answer. I actually want to help versus just saying a thing just to say it, just so I can get you to stop talking so I can tell you about my thing and see if you got any clients for me, or see if you got any referrals for me, see if you got any business for me, see what you can do for me. People not only see right through that, but they don't appreciate it. Even if they don't outwardly say they don't appreciate it, in their soul, they don't appreciate it. That's not how we're wired. Reciprocity is built into your being. You feel compelled to want to help in certain circumstances. There are other ones as well, and I'll touch on those too. But yeah, you've got to come at this thing with a very specific approach. So try it. Next time you're in a group, next time go to a business event, go to a company party, go to whatever it is, ask somebody genuinely, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And then ask. Don't ask so many specific questions. Just ask the general question. How can I help? Or a general question of what do you need? And let them think about it. Don't let them off the hook, and let them thinking about it. And if they start thinking about it, amazing things happen. So try it. Get back to me. Let me know how it works. So I know how it's been working for me. I know how it's been working for a lot of folks that I've told this to. So I figured I'd share it with you as well, and you can get out there and do it. Just give. It's really simple. Be genuinely interested in what the other person is talking about, and ask them that question, and then figure out a way to help. Ask yourself, is there anything I can do? Say, is there an introduction I can make? Is there an experience that I've already been through that I can share with them so that they don't have to have the same thing? Is there something like that? And there's so many opportunities to do this. I tell so many parents of young children, about this hiking backpack. I should probably have stock in the dang thing. This Kelty Kids hiking backpack. I never went hiking a day in my life. You know what I did with it? I went to parties. I cleaned the garage. I did yard work because it was amazing. The kid sits up high, and there's a rear view mirror kind of thing, and you got lumbar support. You can put it on, and everybody's good. I mean, it was amazing. It's incredible. So, and I just tell people as much as I can. I see that, and I go, that's an opportunity for me to help. And they're so grateful for that. I'm not doing it to get something in return, but I do get something in return. I get respect. I get seen in a different light, and people understand who I am. So anyway, it's time to show people who you are. Don't just be thinking about you. Think about them. In fact, lead with it. And if you do that relentlessly, I know that you're going to see a drastic difference in your outcomes. So give it a shot and report back and let me know. This is great. I'm going to end this live. This has been another episode of Motivation on Demand, travel version. I miss my music. Let me see if I can put this little weird music on, if it even happens that way. We're gonna just experiment as I close out and everything like that. Appreciate you. I don't even know if you can hear that, but we're just gonna let it go. Appreciate you. Appreciate you hanging in and all the words, everybody that contributed words and whatnot. And if you just hung out and listened and didn't contribute words, that's okay too. But just know next time when you get in here, go on that chat, jump in the chat, put something down, and you say it, then I'll say it. This has been another Motivation on Demand. I'll holler at you guys later. See you tomorrow. Probably be a little bit earlier, actually. All right? Peace.